Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Madison here, or Dandelion. Today we're doing another nothing video. Cleaning, chatting, setting up the altar for the next season. First thing I want to say though is thank you so much for 8,000 subscribers. I'm so excited to hit another milestone. Let's get to 10,000. Yes. But thank you so much to all of my subscribers. Thank you an extra amount to all my members of my channel also. And it means so much to me that you like my channel enough to hit that join button and support me every month. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to all my subscribers too for staying on my channel, sticking around and watching my content. So before we get into cleaning, let's do our normal chatting about a few random things that I want to chat about. So I think I've talked about this in a couple videos, but I've been slowly forming a relationship with my neighborhood crows. So I'm doing this as part of my Hecate practice, and I was doing this years ago when I lived in a different home, and I had really built up quite the crow following then. Like when I would go on runs in my neighborhood, or I'd walk my sister's dog in our neighborhood, I would always get crows like cawing at me and following me and like recognizing me and swooping down and sitting and being like, do you have anything? And I also started getting things from the crows, like they started bringing me things. So I'm trying to get back to that place. I'm definitely getting there. So to update you guys on how it's going, I've been feeding them every Friday morning. I have this kind of offering platter that I only use for offerings, and I put on it peanuts in the shell because that's what crows prefer. And then I also have been putting some walnuts on there. And I put it out every Friday morning, and usually by Saturday morning, like 10 a.m., it's all completely gone. Sometimes they eat it immediately, and sometimes they wait until the next morning, and on Saturday really early, like 7 a.m., they start eating it. So they have come to expect it. Like every Friday, there was one morning a week or two ago where I forgot to feed them Friday morning, and at like 10 a.m. the food still wasn't out because I had forgotten. And I got a reminder from the crows because I went out onto my front porch, and there were literally like 20 crows all cawing at me like, hello, what gives? Where are my peanuts? So they've come to expect it. They've also started recognizing me again. There's been a couple times where I've been walking around my neighborhood or on a run in my neighborhood, and they recognize me. So we're getting there. Next step is gift giving. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. One cool thing that happened a couple weeks ago was we have parrots, like wild green parrots. There was this situation where there was a fire in a pet store, and to save all the birds that were living at the pet store, they had to just open the cages and let them fly away. So a bunch of green parrots got introduced into the ecosystem where I live, where they're not natively usually found. And so now we have a very flourishing wild green parrot population here in my neighborhood. We have for decades. I noticed one day when I fed the crows, as the crows were all congregating to eat the food I left them, there were parrots also checking it out. And I was Googling, like, what do parrots like to eat most? And peanuts was on the list. So I was thinking I might add a couple things to try to start attracting specifically the parrots so we could get crow friends and parrot friends. So that really excites me. I'll keep you guys updated on any parrot friendship that occurs. Moving on from my bird obsession, another thing that is going on for me right now is I just became a hospice volunteer, and I'm specifically performing Reiki for hospice patients. So I'm volunteering to give Reiki to hospice patients, the ones that are interested in it. You know, not everybody is open to energy work. But I had my first meeting with my first patient yesterday, and it was such an expansive experience. You can go to my TikTok, which is linked in the Dropbox, to see my immediate reaction to what occurred, because as soon as I got back in my car after the appointment, I took a couple videos and posted them. So you can check that out on my TikTok. And I posted one of them here on YouTube in the YouTube Shorts part of my channel, so that's also available, but both of the full videos are on TikTok. But it was an amazing experience. It was one of those things where as I was performing the Reiki on this patient, it felt like the beginning of a path. It felt like the start of something that's going to be a big part of my life. It felt like I was being called. And I've felt this call before. You know, I've already accepted the call of healer, becoming a Reiki master. But this felt like another level. And I think I might have talked about this on my channel before, but I've kind of, since probably for the past 7-ish years, ever since I learned what a death doula was, what a Thana doula was, I've wanted to do that. I want to guide people through dying. I want to guide people through the dying process. And this experience I had yesterday, which was my first experience with anyone who was dying as a spiritual worker, it was incredible. I can't even describe how... It was on a level that I've never experienced. And, because I've given healings to a lot of people over the years. I've been a Reiki practitioner for almost 6 years, and I have been a Reiki master for almost 2 years. So I've given Reiki to a lot of people, but I have never had an experience like the experience I had yesterday with this patient. I think it was because her spirit was between forms of existence, partially physical, still in her body, he's here, and partially exiting her body. She was so open and receptive to the Reiki. It was like the Reiki was so potent for her. Normally when I'm giving someone a healing, and every healer is different, every psychic worker is different, so this is just how it works for me. When I'm performing a healing on a client, I will receive messages and information about them, usually from their guides, or from their past selves, or from their inner child, but never from that person directly. This was very different. It felt like because she was partially in a non-physical existence, she was in between those realms, she was communicating with me directly because she is partially in that spirit realm already. And so instead of receiving messages from her guides about her, she was telling me, I need it here, please move here. It just felt like because she was in that vulnerable place, I could connect to her soul on a level that I have never connected with another human being's soul before. Like I said, with a healing, Mr. Giles, we love you, we see you, all your fans love and see you. Giles fans, sound off in the comments. But in a normal healing, with a person who's not actively dying, they can resist the Reiki, they can resist me. Sometimes when somebody is, still actively living their life, it's not time to heal, or a message isn't ready to be received, so it's not given. So you run into those kind of roadblocks that can be overcome. But with this woman, because she's dying, she was just an open vessel for the Reiki. She was just calling it in. And it almost felt like, another thing that was crazy is, I work with Anubis. Ah, there he is. And I feel him very strongly. And I always, I always have. He's there for a reason. But since yesterday, I feel that my relationship with Anubis has shifted. And I'm really excited. It's weird to be excited about working with people who are dying. Especially in our society where we really ostracize the concept of death and the process of dying. We don't like to talk about it. We don't like to think about it. We don't like to look at it. We don't We don't like to see people dying. We don't like to grieve. We don't like to openly grieve. We think death is scary. And death is scary, obviously, but death is also beautiful. And I really do feel like the more I learn about death, the death itself is not the scary part. It's all the parts around it that have to do with life that make death scary. It's the leaving the people you love behind. It's the leaving your possessions behind. It's the leaving your pets behind. And of course, the fear of the unknown. But the actual dying is peaceful and beautiful and like the greatest act of love from spirit and from divinity and from source, whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to get more into death work. And I'm definitely going to be becoming a Thanadoula. It's going to take time, I think, as every spiritual path should. But it's a really exciting call that I've received fully now, that I am eager to answer. But getting back to my relationship with Anubis, yesterday while I was healing this woman, I so strongly felt Anubis with me. Because if you, I have a video here on my channel about Anubis, if you want to learn more about him, that's in the Dropbox. But Anubis is a deity associated with death, but more so Anubis is associated with mummification. And funeral rites and all that. So it was interesting yesterday as I'm working with this patient, I felt very strongly that Anubis was there with me, guiding me. And he sent me many things that I have never heard of or seen before. He gave me a symbol to use with hospice patients, with people who are dying, that is kind of a gentler version of one of the Reiki symbols. Because I found while I was giving the healing to this patient, there's one Reiki symbol that you learn in level 1 of Reiki that is the Reiki power symbol. So it's like an instant charge of Reiki to anything that you draw it on. And standard practice is that you draw this symbol on each of the chakras as you go through the healing for the patient or the client. And I did that, and I felt like it was too much for her. It was too potent. And she would have a little bit of a reaction to it. Like it was just very intense for her. She's in a fragile and vulnerable state. So I stopped doing that. I was like, that's not, I don't know, that doesn't seem to be feeling ideal for her. And as this was happening, I received a symbol in my head that is similar to that symbol, but it's kind of like twisted and warped. And it was crazy. I used it and it worked perfectly. And then also I received other things as I was going through her healing of techniques to use specifically with those who are dying, to go through a ceremony to do someone's final rites. It was amazing. It felt like Anubis was giving me all this stuff, like do this, do this, do this, do this. And it feels like just the tip of the iceberg. And that's what makes me really excited. Because eventually I hope to be a Thanadoula and have my own practice where I guide people and their families and their loved ones through that whole dying process and grieving process, and perform the funerary rites and all those things. So yeah, really expansive, really exciting. I feel really grateful for this work. I feel so blessed to have found Reiki, and I can't thank Mikao Usui enough. That direct lineage that I have to him, I feel the strength of it every day. And connected to that with Reiki, some announcements for Dandelion Spiritual Academy. February, there will be a Reiki level 1 class. The link to buy a spot in that class is in the Dropbox. So if you want to learn Reiki level 1, become a certified self-healing practitioner, that is happening in February. So check that out in the Dropbox. Level 1 of Reiki is where you learn how to perform a self-healing and you learn all the basics of energy medicine and Reiki. So that's really exciting, and between you and me, my prices are the lowest you will find. So, and I'm a pretty good teacher. I do say so humbly. but I love to teach and I love my students and I take it very seriously. I have a lot of integrity within my classes, and I see constantly other people who do not have integrity within their classes. So if you've been searching for someone to learn Reiki from, I would be honored to be that person for you. But there's a Reiki level 1 class happening in February, so check that out in the Dropbox. And then in March, I will be teaching a Reiki level 2 class. So Reiki level 2 is when you learn to heal others. So level 2 is where you move beyond just healing yourself and you learn more Reiki symbols for techniques of healing other people. And you also learn a bit about if you want to start a Reiki business and start having clients. We cover that a little bit as well. There's also a couple secret techniques, breathing techniques that are said to lengthen one's life that the practitioner can use for themselves. They're not for other people, but they're for yourself. So a lot of expansive, fun learning in level 2. That'll be happening in March. And I'm running a special promotion right now that anyone who signs up for the level 2 class that has taken level 1 with me previously, you get 20% off your level 2 tuition. So if you want to be able to take advantage of that 20% off of your March level 2 class tuition, then sign up for the Reiki 1 class that is happening in February. So check that out. That's all in the Dropbox. The level 2 class isn't up on my website because it's more exclusive. You have to email me to get into it. So sign up for level 1 if you haven't already. And then I will get you signed up for level 2 once you start talking to me if that's something that you want, and I'll make sure you get that discount. And spots are limited. I only take so many students in each class so I can make sure that everybody gets attention and that I'm not too overwhelmed with how many students there are. And these are virtual classes, so you don't have to be in person with me. So anybody from anywhere can take the class. So even if you're far away, you can still sign up. But remember, spots are limited. So if you're interested, snatch your spot up now. Don't wait, because if you're feeling called to do it, do it. Somebody else is going to take that spot. And I teach classes all the time, but you know, I'm only running this promotion for 20% off level 2 right now. So get in those classes. I am covered in white hair from the Giles boy, which is an honor. Okay, I think that's all the little things I wanted to talk about. Oh, also, it's Imbolc today, so blessed Imbolc. We're halfway to spring. We're getting into the warmer months. I'm ready for it. I'm sick of being cold. Not to be that annoying human who's always complaining about the season and the weather, no matter which way it is, but I'm ready to be warm. That's for sure. I am ready to be warm. But yeah, so blessed Imbolc to everyone who celebrates the Wiccan holidays. And let's do some cleaning. I still have my altar all set up for Yule, so I'm gonna switch it over to a more springtime vibe, Imbolc Ostara vibe. Give it a clean, you know, because it's always dirty as shit. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So let's get cleaning. Oh, also, I almost forgot. There is going to be a live stream here on my channel, and it's going to be a few hours long. It's going to be mostly a Q&A, so bring all your spiritual questions, questions about deity worship, questions about anything having to do with religion, spirituality, witchcraft, and I will be there answering questions. The questions that come in as super chats, so if you're not familiar with what a super chat is where you send at least $1 and you write a message, and then that gets put in the chat. So all that money goes directly to me, and your message gets highlighted. So all those questions that have a little bit of money attached to them, I'm going to prioritize those questions. I will try to answer everyone's questions, but depending on how many people are at the live stream, might get kind of crazy. So if you want to make sure that I answer your question, then join the live stream, send $1, $2, and ask your question along with that money that you're sending. I hope to see you there. Okay, now we can clean. I've also urgently needed to replace these candles that I use for God and Goddess, because they burnt all the way down. I finished these candles, which I'm sad about because they drip so beautifully. But I got lots more candles. So when I replace them, I'll show you the candles I'm going to replace them with. One thing I forgot to say is I recently added to my altar a little space for my power animal. So now next to Bastet, I have a little bit of some statuary for my power animal, just a little section dedicated to them. I also got this, I did an Etsy order, like around the holidays that was, like a candle for Yule, for my Yule ceremony. And it's this little Santa. I might do something crazy and be a little bit lazy because I did recently clean these. I cleaned, without filming one day, and that's when I added the whole power animal altar section. So I might be a little bit lazy and just clean the bottom part and just kind of lift the table and slide the scarf out and slide the new one in. I don't know, I might do it. Should I do it? Is that silly? Because it's not that bad up top right now. It's mostly down here that's a wreck. And like I need to change the candles in my God and Goddess holders. But yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do the bottom. I take back everything I said. I think I'm going to clean the whole thing. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, ugh, it is kind of dirty. It's unavoidable. We're cleaning the whole thing. Get it together. Something I have been thinking about a lot lately that I really want to do is I want to take I have like this, in true hoarder fashion, because that's who I am, I have this little bag of wax drippings from candles, and they're all different colors. Like like literally it's like years worth of wax drippings. And I want to take all the wax and melt it all in one big pot and make one big super candle. I think that would be fun. I don't know what the candle would be for. It would just be for general power, I think. But yeah, that's an idea I have. Maybe I'll make that as like a kooky fun video sometime soon. Because I definitely have plenty of wax for that. But this is what I added to my altar to represent my power animal. So this is a snow leopard. And then I got these, they're all separate. I bought them separately, but these two smaller snow leopards. Snow leopard is my power animal, but my power animal, she's a mom, and she has 2 babies with her. From the first time I met her in my shamanic studies, she always had these 2 babies with her. And they've never grown up over the years as I've continued to work with my power animal. So I don't know if they never will, or if one day I'll journey to the lower world to communicate with my power animal and they'll be grown. I don't know. My shaman who taught me, he was very interested to know what was going to happen and if they were going to stay babies or not. But they've stayed babies so far. But yeah, so I have this to represent the 3 of them. The mom, which is my main power animal, and then her 2 babies. I also completely forgot to talk about very fun thing that also happened yesterday. Wow, Imbulk this year is full of a lot of expansive shit. But yesterday I graduated from my ecstatic dance teacher training course that I was doing with an organization called Dance the Medicine, which is based in Canada. And it was such an amazing experience. It was several months long of weekly classes. And now I'm a certified ecstatic/conscious dance facilitator. So I'm going to be starting to teach ecstatic dance classes in person here in Los Angeles. But I thought it could be fun to do virtual live streamed ones here on my channel. So if anyone would be interested in joining in on a conscious dance event that was live streamed here on my channel, comment that down below so I know you guys would be interested in that. Because I think it would be kind of weird if I started a live stream and I was just dancing by myself. But if I know other people want to join in on the dance and follow along with me as I guide you through a spiritual dance, then I want to know if you guys are interested in that. I think that would be so much fun. But yeah, I'm really excited to start teaching in-person classes and virtual classes. But yeah, so comment that down below if you're interested in ecstatic dance and conscious dance. Who wants to eat all the catnip that's left on Bastet's altar? The altar is all clean and beautiful and ready for spring, ready for Imbolc and Astara. Remember, you can hit that join button to become a member of my channel and support me every single month and help me continue to create content here on YouTube. And you also get a lot of fun perks as a reward for supporting me. So hit that join button to become a member of my channel. I just recently changed the member badges that you get. You get a new badge based on how long you've been a member of my channel. And going along with the theme of seedlings, I made all of the member badges plants going through different stages of life. So the first one is a little seedling, and then as you go through the tiers of membership, the longer you're a member of my channel, then the little icon you get gets bigger and bigger and grows and grows and grows, until the last hardest to get badge, which is for people who've been a member of my channel for more than 2 years, I think, is the earth covered in beautiful plants. So become a member of my channel and work your way all the way up through all the plants that you can be until you become a beautiful tree and a beautiful flourishing earth. Blessed Imbolc to you all. I hope you're having a lovely start to your year, and I will see you soon. Blessed be.